guys, and welcome to day 26 of Inktober. So with this illustration, I managed to pick myself back up from the stress that I was feeling from day 25, and I got started as early as I could. A lot of times I'm not very awake in the mornings, so it can be hard to sketch and get the ideas down, but I did it regardless, and that made the actual process of completing this piece much easier. And the idea for this piece is actually one that's been developing in my brain for a couple of days now. I knew specifically that I wanted to draw an archer, and that was really all I knew. I didn't know anything about clothing or what the actual bow itself would look like, what the person would look like. I just knew I wanted to draw an archer. This sort of plays into what I had been talking about the last time I drew a crouching pose. Crouching poses are very difficult for me, primarily because I don't do a lot of them. And once I realize that something is a problem in my artwork, I don't like to let it go. I like to go back in and draw that thing repeatedly until I'm at least a little more comfortable with it. In the end, I do think this crouching pose in particular turned out a little bit better than my previous one. There's a little bit of a problem with the foreshortening in the leg. The position of the foot is off, but I am aware of this and it gives me a place to start practicing. The foreshortening in the arms I think is a little bit better than it is with the feet. And overall, I'm very happy with the way it really looks like she is pulling the bow back. Something else I discovered with this piece was a sort of love for designing weapons. And I think I talked about this in my sword video I had done a while back. I think it was day 6. I really like designing weapons. I'm not that good at it. And again, this is the lack of practice. My brain doesn't really think in terms of weapons, even though I love the look of them. And so, because I haven't put enough time into drawing other people's weapons and trying to design my own based on them, it becomes more of a struggle. However, I really would like to spend more time designing weapons, and I actually have another vague idea for a weapon that I may do before Inktober is up, even though I have started on day 27's illustration and it is not that. So there are 4 more illustrations besides that one, and I'm not sure if I'll get around to it within this month or if it will come about after. However, the final result of this bow I am very happy with. I think it looks interesting, and it really ties this piece together with some that I have done prior. I have found that this Inktober, a major repeating theme has been birds and their wings. I think I just really enjoy the aesthetic of birds' wings, especially put into situations that are not birds. They're a lot of fun to draw once you get over the weird anatomy of them, and they add a lot of interest. And because this piece in particular seemed a little bit disconnected from some of the ideas I've done prior, I knew that I wanted to tie it together. Another way that I did that was through the night sky. And I think I mentioned this in the last night sky video I did. Adding the stars to a completely black background is so satisfying. It takes a lot of time and it's very repetitive, but I think that's part of why I like it. I'm not so stressed out by having to be perfect, and I can just make little dots. It gives me the chance to slow down and not really think too much about what I'm doing, and gives me more time to think about other things. And something else that I found with this piece in particular was very interesting to me, because this is one of my favorite pieces I've done thus far, I think. However, I feel like I've been saying that a lot this month. And I ended up looking at all of my Inktober pieces together yesterday, and the number of pieces that could be considered my favorite is extremely high. I think there were 8 or 9. And it's very hard for me to pick between those pieces as to which is actually my favorite. And I think that's part of the joy of a challenge like Inktober, because I did the calculations, and at the pace I typically make artwork, it would take me about 4 months to create the number of pieces that I have this month. And that technically could mean that it would have taken me 4 months to come up with this many pieces that I like this much. And yes, there are definitely days that I'm not as fond of. There are pieces that I could do without. But in the end, I have created more that I do like than I would have otherwise. And that to me is kind of amazing. It's statistics like that which really make all of the time and effort that I've put into Inktober this year really worth it. For a period of time, I was considering just doing illustrations in my sketchbook, and that was what I did last year for Inktober, and a lot of people are doing that. And there's nothing wrong with that. It is still just as amazing to look at those people's illustrations. But I really wanted to push myself to do a lot of work every day. And this is probably just because I'm an overachiever in every sense of the word. I'm very bad about not giving myself a break when I need it. And as a result, I'm very excited that Inktober is almost done. And as much as I've enjoyed the process, it is a relief to know that there's not that many days left. But I hope that what I will gain from this experience is a sense of time management and the knowledge of what I actually am able to achieve. So that's about all I have to say for today's video. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.